What is up, Heat 'em Up gang? It's your boy Heat 'em Up Trail. I'm back with another video. Now, we're going to get into what Brandon Aiyuk brings to the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know what it is, but he is extremely underrated, y'all. Extremely underrated. Like, every time I see, like, any type of rookie, the rookie list, as far as receivers, I believe it was going Justin Jefferson. They had hit timeout. There was a poll on Instagram, right? I was just going on Instagram, I'm on my poll. I'm on a poll, right? They had Henry Ruggs with a higher percentage than Brandon Aiyuk. That just tells you to show how much of underrated Brandon Aiyuk is. Like, Brandon Aiyuk can easily be a top 10, top 15 receiver within 4 years, within 3 years. He just needs a quarterback. And we got a quarterback now. Like, if you see the quarterbacks that was throwing the ball last year and what he did with those quarterbacks, it's very similar to what I believe Josh Gordon was doing with Brandon Weeden and all them bum receivers, bum quarterbacks. It's very similar, except Brandon Aiyuk doesn't have any issues. He's just good. He's just doing it with no-name quarterbacks, pretty much. He was doing it with Nick Mullins, C.J. Beathard, a little bit of Jimmy G, but, he was doing it with the backups. He was putting up decent numbers. Like, if you see his numbers, let me look up his numbers real quick, y'all. Let me look up his numbers. Brandon Aiyuk, stats. His numbers was 60 receiving catches, 748 yards, 12.5 yards after the catch, and his long was 49, and his touchdowns was 5. He had 5 touchdowns for 60 catches, 748 yards. He could have had 1,000 yards. I mean, he could have went for 1,000 yards if he didn't miss out. If it wasn't for injury, because I know Green Bay game. When Richie James went for 11 catches and something. What was it? It was something ridiculous. But he put the team on it. He was doing everything for the receivers, right? That was basically him playing in Aiyuk's position. Because I believe on Twitter that next time Aiyuk was upset because he was like, man, that was supposed to be me, basically. And if it was Aiyuk instead of Richie, not to say the talent level is definitely more Aiyuk than Richie James, but Aiyuk would have probably did a little bit more than what Richie James did. Because if we look up that game, let's look up that game. 49ers versus Packers. 2021. Or 2020. Stats. Richie James went for 9 catches, 184 yards, and 1 touchdown. You mean to tell me if Brandon Aiyuk wasn't in there, it would have probably been 15 catches, probably 15, and 3 touchdowns? Can you see that? I could see that. That's not me forcing anything, or not me just saying Brandon Aiyuk is all this and that. He really is. If you really watch him, you can tell that he's gonna be a superstar in this league. You can really tell. Brandon Aiyuk really is that good. He just needs to get seen more. And we played terrible last year, so he's not gonna get seen a lot. Like Chase Claypool did, like Justin Jefferson did. Who else? There's more, but top 5 rookie receivers in the 2020. Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Aiyuk, Jerry Jeudy. And then it goes T. Higgins, Chase Claypool, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Reagor, Michael Pittman Jr. That's according to the web. According to the Draft Network, it is Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is going to be number 1 on everybody's. Then Chase Claypool. Then, for some reason, T. Higgins. Then Jerry Jeudy. then CeeDee Lamb. He's not even in the top 5. Not even in the top 5. Now let's go to Pro Football Focus. They got him at CeeDee Lamb as number 1, Justin Jefferson number 2, Chase Claypool number 3, Laviska Shenault at number 4. Number 5 is Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, T. Higgins at 7, Bryan Edwards at 8, Gabriel Davis at 9, Brandon Aiyuk at 10. That's a problem. That's a problem there within itself. Like, who is Bryan Edwards? Who is Gabriel Davis? T. Higgins? What did he really do? Henry Ruggs. I only remember you for one thing. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, yeah. He sent the game. He put the game away. That's the only play I remember you for, Henry Ruggs. The only play. When he did that little double move, fly route for basically the touchdown winner. Yeah, that's the only thing I remember. Laviska Shenault. Who are you? He had 28 targets, tied second amongst rookies, 23 receptions, second, 270 yards, third, 1 receiving. You only have 1 receiving touchdown? Fifth, 16 first downs, 8 explosive pass plays, 1.99 yards per route run, 6, 53 run yards, 2. Okay. I mean, let's go to Aiyuk's stats. Aiyuk stats. Where's the stats at? They're not even trying to show stats. He's going to need to continue to develop as a legitimate. This is what they're saying about Aiyuk. The 49ers suffered multiple injuries, which Aiyuk has been able to capitalize on. The former Arizona State pulled out 12 receptions on 21 targets, 153 yards, and 10 first downs. Fifth, he's going to need to continue to develop as a legitimate receiver, but he's already shown some of the after-the-catch ability that made him a first-round pick. Aiyuk leads all rookie receivers with his 69 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, forcing 4 missed tackles on 4 rushing attempts and producing 10.3 yards after contact per attempt. He also had one of the best touchdowns of the season this far, with being the Air Aiyuk. Why is it that they're showing everybody else stats but Brandon's? This is just disrespectful, but we're going to get into this video to break down the film study of the underrated
I think Brandon Aiyuk had a really underrated season last year. Not a lot of people talked about him as much as he probably deserved. I thought he played very well.
He deserved a lot.
I mean, he ended the season with 748 receiving yards when add on another 77 rushing yards. So he definitely had some moments last year.
Yeah.
Let's get into the film study, talk about what I liked about him. And, a lot of it is people are going to say, well, he just sort of is able to get schemed open by Kyle Shanahan. And I think you're kidding.
Everybody gets schemed open. It's a coach's game. It's coaches playing chess. Literally. It's coaches playing chess. The players are the pieces on the board. But the coach is who's playing the pieces, literally. Unless you're Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning. It's the coach. Get that in your noggin.
You won't admit that that's clearly
coach's
part
game.
of it. Is
the players are just
Kyle Shanahan. It's a dream to play for Kyle Shanahan. He'll help get you open. But at the same time,
it's a game of chess.
Remember,
literally.
Aiyuk didn't choose Kyle Shanahan. Shanahan chose Aiyuk, and there's a reason for it. It's because Aiyuk is great in this system. So what's going to happen?
Exactly, he's great in the system. And if you think about it, you can't keep saying schemes when at the end of the day, after the catch is all him. And if he's leading, that means he's doing good in something. Like, come on now.
Is that it's a cover 3 zone. You see the route that Aiyuk is running. So he's going to be running a route over the middle. There's a play action that gets New York players out of position. However, there is one way this play could fail. If the cornerback, who's lined up with Aiyuk currently, reads this play, he could run in, try to cover it up, and at least make it difficult for Aiyuk to get open immediately, and then at a certain point, you hope that the Giants linebackers are able to get back in position. But watch how right when this play starts, Aiyuk is doing just a great job of this stem portion of the route, which I talk about a fair amount. It is very important with receivers. You want to have a guy who is going to run this beginning portion of the route well, and, he's going to put himself in position to succeed, make things easier on himself by making it seem as though he could be running any route on the route tree, even though he is running over the middle. So you see that the Giants corner who's covering him is starting to bail a little bit. He's running further back, which is exactly what Aiyuk wants. Aiyuk doesn't want him to break in too quickly, because if he breaks in too quickly,
safety's going to back up, and he's already within length. Like, what do you need to back up for? You're just giving yourself up for any middle thing to break down. But I just mean, like, it says it's in cover 3. So that means you're the deepest man. What do you need to move for so early? Like, he's already backpedaling, and the ball literally just got into the quarterback's hands. Literally, he's already backpedaling.
Might not get open. And as you see when he cuts, he does get wide open. And I have to say that if he had to run that route for another second or so, it probably wouldn't have been open. So it's good that he did that. And that's what I mean. Where, yes, it's a system. Yes, you can say, Kyle Shanahan and the rest of the 49ers offense were what cleared that window. And that's true, but at the same time, that part of that play could have been clogged up with a lesser receiver talent in that area. So that's one of the things I like about Aiyuk. And then there's something like this. So similar things. It's cover 2 zone again, and similar idea, right? Play action. He's running a route over the middle, but this time you notice it's a lot closer to the line of scrimmage. And the reason for that is because the New York Giants players are going to be out of position a lot closer. So that's another thing I like about Aiyuk, is that he can kind of do it all. And he can use his route running to get himself more open, but he's also just fast enough that he can run a quick slant route. Like, watch. I mean, as you see, very quick, but Aiyuk wide open, makes the catch on the run, and is able to pick up a good gain because, he has the speed to do that. And he has good acceleration to start up. And he's able to, the acceleration is really the key thing. First couple steps, he goes quickly, and he's able to pick up that, solid play.
All right, so as we go into the ad.
With MailChimp's creative smarts.
As we go into the ad, things that I picked up with Aiyuk. People are going to say, we're scheming him open. This, that, and the third. At the end of the day, if your receiver's making plays within the offense that's given to him, that's what makes a player great. So are we going to say, Jerry Rice was schemed open? So are we going to say, who else is an example? That stayed on teams for years. So we're going to say Justin Jefferson was schemed open? We're going to say everybody else was also schemed open? Literally. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? Like, what else does he have to do? He's doing good in the scheme that's given to him. That's what you're supposed to do. Excel in the scheme that's given to you.
Is somewhat built around. And then there's also stuff like this. I brought up his rushing yards. To be honest, I'm a little surprised it was only 77 rushing yards, because I feel like I saw him several times make some great rushing plays.
Yeah.
But I think part of that is just because, every time he had a rushing play, it was seemingly like a highlight reel one. He ended up with just 6 rushing plays on the year, so that's a big part of it. But on this play, so he's currently lined up as a receiver, but he's going to take a pitch back and then run to the offense's right. So a lot of how it works is you have a couple New York Giants players who are going to be blocking just the edge right there. You also have a tight end who fakes it though he's going to the left, then runs over to the right and is going to lead block. You have a right guard and right tackle who are going to go out and block as well. The play action is going to help. So a lot of stuff. You don't need to keep track of all of it. Just watch what happens. Right when this play starts, you notice that it's a little pitch blocking back to Aiyuk. Play worked well. So again, part of it is, yes, Kyle Shanahan putting Aiyuk in a position to succeed. That's good. That's what your offensive coach is supposed to do. In this case, it's the head coach. Sometimes it's offensive coordinator. But what I like about Aiyuk, and I've seen him do this a couple of times with rushing plays, or maybe not even rushing plays, sometimes just when he's in open space, is at this point, I think a lot of guys would just sort of speed up, power through, and they might end up getting tackled before they get into the end zone. What Aiyuk does a good job of is he knows how to use his blockers,
Yep.
to allow him to get open. Because watch how he slows down a little bit, which allows him to sort of read the play. He knows where to go, and he gets into the end zone for a touchdown. So
that was his first
some good
touchdown,
stuff
too.
there from Aiyuk. He's very quick, very good with the ball in his hands, good in open space, can move very well. And on top of this, he's smart in open space, which is really just everything that Kyle Shanahan looks for. So it really is a perfect fit. And, I remember at the time, I liked this fit, and it even exceeded my expectations as someone who liked it. So that, I think, says how good of a fit this has been. Let's move over to this play now. At the end of the day, this is the main thing that you want Aiyuk to be good at, and it's honestly the main thing that Aiyuk is good at. It's really the Kyle Shanahan play. It's you run play action, have a receiver run over the middle. Since your opposition is in zone coverage, you can find a gap, throw it, blah, blah, blah. We get how it works. But what's interesting about this is going to be
Trey Lance and Brandon Aiyuk. Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to imagine now that he's talking about play action and how Kyle Shanahan wants his receivers to run in play action. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Exactly.
They're going to become best friends.
Just watch how quick Aiyuk gets to that spot, and then with a low throw, he's still able to make the catch while moving forward. A lot of guys, I think, sort of they make the catch, but they kind of dive to make the catch, or they, don't keep going. But I thought Aiyuk did a great job of, he focused on making the catch. He didn't, just focus on what he's going to do after the catch. But then he was able to easily, seamlessly turn around and run over and pick up some more yards. So, again, you want guys with yards after the catch? Well, that's what Brandon Aiyuk can get for you. And if you want someone who can just get open in those zone coverages, that's what he can do for you. And to be honest, while a lot of what people talk about with him is going to be how he fits in that scheme, I do feel like he could be good in any system. Like right here, for example, this is going to be a man coverage play. And New England, they did this a couple of times when they would go up against a team that is sort of used to opposing teams playing zone against them because they have good running games, like San Francisco. What New England would do is they would try to just play some man and throw them off. We saw New England have really good success last year doing that against Baltimore, for example.
One thing I do notice, Aiyuk hasn't really been tested for real yet. Look at Stephon Gilmore. Who is he guarding? I believe that's fucking Kendrick Bourne. So he hasn't gained the league's respect yet.
But the difference between, San Francisco and Baltimore is San Francisco has a receiver who can consistently win in man, and that receiver's name is Brandon Aiyuk. Because watch what's going to happen on this play. As it is man coverage, he's running a route over the middle in this cover one play, and see how he does this. So right off the bat, really good first step, fakes out 31 right there, and now he's past him already. Because again, he has speed. It's 4.5. It feels like 4.3 speed sometimes. He's able to move. But then watch how he fakes to his right, gets to his left, gets wide open, and is able to make a grab and even make a move after it and pick up the first down on that play. That's what Brandon Aiyuk can do. And sometimes it doesn't come into play. Sometimes it does. You want to make sure you have at least one guy who can win one-on-one matchups. And Brandon Aiyuk can do that. Obviously, Kittle can do it when he's healthy. Deebo Samuel has shown he can do it. So really, I think, really underrated receiving core, San Francisco. And Brandon Aiyuk, really underrated, I think. He had a great rookie season and should probably be getting talked about more than he has. You can make the argument Brandon Aiyuk had the second best rookie receiving season last year. Obviously, Justin Jefferson had the best. No one's going to argue that with 1,400 receiving yards. But Brandon Aiyuk was up there with number two. CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, those are kind of the argument. You could throw Jerry Jeudy in there if you want to. There's a few guys who had really good seasons. Aiyuk is one of them. I'm interested to see what he can do next year with potentially Trey Lance throwing to him. Should be a lot of fun. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.
This is the checkers game where grandson and granddad will bond.
I believe that was it. Yes, it was. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Personally, my point of view is Justin Jefferson, Brandon Aiyuk, then everybody else is just what it is. I don't really care. You know what I mean? Justin Jefferson, we can't argue. He had 1,400 yards. He did outstanding things. He broke records. He broke Randy Ross's record for Vikings. You can't argue that. But Brandon Aiyuk needs to stop being disrespected. Needs to stop getting disrespected. Y'all need to respect him for what he is. He is going to be a dominant receiver in this league for many years to come. If anything, they keep saying, "Oh, AJ Brown, Julio, this, that, and third." No. That dude Brandon Aiyuk, he can be a Devontae Adams with a little bit of Julio combined. Just listen to me. Just watch. Just look at him. Look at his long ass arms. And he's gonna get busy. Wait till we get Trey Lance in there throwing him the ball. I'm trying to tell y'all, Brandon Aiyuk, Air Aiyuk. He's coming. He's coming hard because he deserves it. He's literally going to be a great talent. He's going to be a great talent in this league. A great talent. A great talent. Alright. But that's going to do it for this video. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what other videos y'all want me to react to. Yeah. That's going to do it. Follow the socials. It's up top. Top right. I'm gone.